Maybe you know this about me, maybe you don't, but I do not bullet journal, and today I will tell you why. All right, so first of all, no judgment. I always feel that the best way to organize yourself is whatever is best for you. It could be your phone notes, it could be the calendar in your phone, it could be a paper planner, a bullet journal, whatever is best, but I'm gonna tell you today why I personally just don't like bullet journaling. I want to bullet journal, but I have tried it on a few occasions and it really just doesn't work for me. So let me tell you why and what I would recommend instead. The first reason is just the setup. It stresses me out so much, right? Like when you get a planner, you've got your months, you've got your weeks, maybe you have a daily, whatever kind of planner you have, it is pre-printed, it is in there, you're good. When you get this plain notebook, the grid, usually it's the grid I find for bullet journals, I am so stressed out because I'm like, okay, I have to make my index, right? Like I have to number all the pages and figure it out. And if you mess something up, or even if you don't mess something up, but you change your mind and you've already written this out and numbered all the pages and things are starting to be set up, but it's ruined. And I don't know, maybe that's just a me thing, but it's just like too much pressure to put a bullet journal together. Which brings me to reason number 2 is just general perfectionism. Now, I am not a perfectionist at all in my life, but a bullet journal is meant to be pretty. I feel like it is like a fancy planner that you show people and you tell people about, and that is not how I am about planners. Now, I know I have an entire channel dedicated to talking about paper and planners, and I show you my planner, but my like weekly spreads, usually they're not super intricate or aesthetic. Honestly, they're just for being productive. And so trying to create something that is beautiful and perfect, I just don't think that would be a good fit for me. So that's another reason why I don't do it. The next reason is my handwriting. Now, I don't have bad handwriting, but the thing is, it is inconsistent. So I can write super neat, but then maybe the next time I choose to write super neat, it looks different than the first time. And the other issue is that like sometimes I write a cursive R and sometimes it's a print R. So it's not consistent and the handwriting looks different, but honestly, I would say 80% of the time I'm just a scribbler. Like it's almost impossible to read, but I can read my own handwriting. And so I just don't think that that is a type of handwriting that belongs in a bullet journal. Next, I should also say I love looking at people's bullet journals, but this is another reason why I just can't have one. I could never decide on a theme. I love when people have like the stars and the moon, or like they have their favorite movies or a color scheme, or just, I don't know. But I just can't decide, do I want to have the same theme for the entire planner? Does each month get a theme? Does each page? Then like when you start adding the stickers and the washi tape, it gets like bumpy, but half the planner is bumpy because maybe you don't use it on the next page. So it just feels really clunky to me and inconsistent. My next reason is that it is so time consuming. My idea of the perfect use of a planner is that I have my Post-its everywhere. I'm trying to cut back on Post-its because I feel like it makes me more disorganized, honestly. But I have my Post-its, I have my phone where maybe I've jotted down a few notes, my planner from the last few weeks, and I get everything together and I make my to-do list. Maybe I have a separate to-do list for things for the future or things that I need to do today, but I organize it, right? I am trying to make myself productive. And I feel like you spend so much time making a bullet journal that you're like, I have no energy left to actually use this in a way that is making me productive. Now, that is fine if that's what you want. Some people like that. They're like, I like to make this beautiful piece of art, and then they like to do part 2 where they use it. But I think I'm just so exhausted from trying to make it that I wind up not using it. And then if it's like ever so slightly not what I envisioned, I'm like, well, I hate it, I'm not gonna use it. So in that case, it just doesn't make sense for me to make a bullet journal. Next up, I do not need to have a habit tracker going all the time. I just made a video where I did a habit tracker for 1 month, and I'll be honest, it was not my favorite thing to do. I just don't think that you need to consistently be doing something for an entire year and tracking it. I think you'd have to have a really specific reason for needing to do that. Honestly, just doing it for a month, maybe I would do one more time this year just to sort of see where my habits are falling, ways I can improve, things that I'm doing and I'm maybe not sure why, seeing if I can sense a pattern. But these people who make make the 365-day tracker, that seems so overwhelming to not just make, but keep up with, especially because look, you can buy these little Post-its. This is Post-it brand, make a habit. You could just put the habit and then check it for 31 days. So again, I'm not saying that it's bad, but I don't know if you are gonna be putting a habit tracker in there, that's just not something that I think I would use consistently again. And the last reason is that deep down, I think I'm just like a little bit of a gremlin. Like, I have also mentioned this in the past that like I'm organized, but I'm messy, like a little bit chaotic. Like my desk, like I mentioned that there's just like soda cans, water, my cup from my tea is my teacup in the morning, and then it turns into my trash can in the afternoon. Like, I sometimes think people envision me like a little bit different than I actually am when it comes to like how maybe like put together I am. Unintentionally, I don't mean to like be like, oh my gosh, I'm so put together and so organized. I am organized in my schedule and my actions, but my space gets to be like a little bit chaotic sometimes, and I just don't feel like a bullet journal aligns with that, right? Like, I'm just like not like a zhuzhy person like in my office space. Like, I have my planner and I organize and I have my Post-its everywhere, which like I said, I'm trying to get rid of that habit because it doesn't help me. It just makes things more chaotic. But I don't know, it just doesn't fit me or my personality, so I'm not gonna do it. All right, so I did tell you that I would share what I would recommend instead. So first of all, if you're on the fence about this, you could get a custom planner like I made. Now, mine from Plum is beautiful. I love it. I use it every single day. It's a little bit pricier than maybe just one off the shelf. But what's nice about this is you can make your planner however you want, and you can get some grid or some line paper in the back, however much you want. I think up to like 50 pages. So if you're like, I need a planner, you can always make that and then kind of test the waters for a year, making some spreads and layouts in the back. And if you're like, this was really not as fun or great as I thought it would be, fine, no problem, you know you need a planner. But if you loved it, then maybe the following year you do the bullet journal thing. I am so curious from people watching who have done the bullet journal thing consistently, like, how long have you been doing it? Like a year, a month, 5 years? I'm just wondering, like, because it's a time investment, and at that point it's a hobby too, I think, right? Like, it's great for productivity if you're using it that way, like planner, but that is also like, that is like your fun hobby, I think. Probably have a ton of tools. And that's another thing. I think I left that out on my list. Like, you start accumulating like so much stuff, and the stickers and the washi tape, the different pens, the highlighters, it gets expensive, and it can be like a little bit cluttery too. So I recommend that. And I also think there's nothing wrong with just a plain notebook, right? Writing your ideas down. You could also get some of these Post-its, like I said. So if you're into the habit tracker thing, you could try this out. So I don't know, there are other office supplies, basics that you could get that I think work just as well if you're kind of on the fence. So anyway, those are my thoughts on bullet journaling. I, like I said, love seeing other people make their bullet journals, but it's one of those things that's super fun and relaxing to watch. I love seeing the videos, but I just don't think that it's something that would be fun or relaxing for me. I am like an artsy, like, I mean, I'm not like talented artsy, but like I like to paint and just like really relaxing, you know, watercolors. I like to do that sort of thing. But for some reason, I just associate my planner with being productive, and it doesn't have to be fancy. Now, I will say one last thing that I do in my planner is sometimes I will cut up stickers and make different spreads so that it just gives a pop of color. You know, I did one recently where I had some flowers. I did some where I put some longer ones on the edge of each day, and it just gave it like a little bit of something that looked really pretty, but it wasn't so involved, and it took me like 4 minutes to do. So that's another option. I always like incorporating stickers into a regular planner. But anyway, you'll have to let me know what your experience has been with the bullet journal, if you are a fan or not. So I always love reading the comments, so thank you for leaving them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.